We are live. I am super excited. I am Lynn Serrano and you are?
Debbie Bettendorf.
And we are so super excited because we have a special guest, a dear friend of mine, Laura Smith. She's a current Miss Elite South Carolina. And we'll be right back after this. I'm so excited.
I am too. I'm so happy that Laura is with us, and she is your friend. I have never met her until just recently, behind the scenes here today. And she's so cool, so beautiful. Let's just say it. She's fabulous and beautiful. So I think Lynn is going to pop her up so y'all can meet her.
Yes, I'm going to pop her up right after this. She'll be right back with us. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stick around.
Yep, stay tuned.
On top of the world. On top of the world. I'm sitting on top of the world. On top of the world. On top of the world. People ask me what my secret is. I just smile and say,
live for today. That's what the song says.
Live for today. Laura, welcome to the show. We are so happy to have you and share you with our viewers and other people in the future, right? So glad you're here. And we've read your bio and we had it posted with this, but I want to give you the opportunity to talk to everyone about where you're from, where you are now, and just a little bit about yourself.
All right, Lynn and Debbie, I'm so excited to be the inaugural guest here today on your brand new show you're rolling out. Excited. What an amazing duo to take on the world and just bring fabulousness everywhere. I'm Laura Smith and I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. A lot of y'all know me. I have been an independent business owner for almost 30 years. And also in the direct selling field. But my passion is, empowering women and instilling confidence. That's been my major passion for being a business owner in the salon and beauty industry. So incorporated with that, I have been in the pageant industry. I've helped a lot of girls win beautiful shiny hats and won a few myself along the way, and hopefully empowered them to go on to do amazing things.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Empowering women. We're all about that. Who doesn't need people in their life to cheer you on and empower one another? This is huge, So when I read your bio, I was super interested in all that you do, and we'll get into that because you do a lot. But how long have you owned your own salon?
Well, I was a struggling single mom teaching school, and, I knew that there had to be a better way. As most school teachers, we had several jobs, and, we get off from school, we would be working for caterers or bartending at the country club or doing something to bring in that other income. And I went back to school at night because, a traditional education was, the way we went in my family. So I probably would have just gone to school, in the beauty industry right out of high school had I been given the choice. But, I'm thankful for my traditional education also.
Yeah.
So I kept on teaching school and kept on working, and then working from my home in the beauty industry. And then I was blessed to meet Prince Charming, and he was like, quit that teaching that school. Oh my gosh, you got to go to bed at 8:00. And I opened my salon. So that's I was really blessed to have a partner who believed in my dream. And mainly it wasn't about the money. It wasn't about the income. It was that I wanted women to be able to do what I was doing, to have their own small business, to be able to work for themselves, to schedule themselves, to be able to be with their children at baseball games. And to go on, like in my salon, now I'm not talking about Brittany, who works with me right now. I want to empower you with the tools. So after 2 years of being with me, you can go on and open your own salon.
Ooh, now see, that is rare. That is a rarity to find a business owner who is willing to put the time and energy into someone else so that they can go do their own thing. So that speaks volumes to me about your character and your integrity. That's amazing. So with the beauty industry, okay, you have a salon. Now, were you involved with pageants prior to having your salon? I mean, it seems like you encompass everything that is empowering women, the beauty industry, helping people feel fabulous, and then also in pageants. So how did that work out for you? Did you do pageants before the beauty industry, or how did that all happen?
No, not really. I grew up being a junior Olympian in gymnastics,
Wow.
believe it or not. And that's really what I did that kept me out of trouble all through high school till I went to college. And since about the age of 10 to about 8 to 10 years, I was involved in gymnastics. That was my life. Like kids play soccer year round now. That was my life back then. It was
and that's no joke. Like gymnastics is a difficult sport. People don't realize, and you're in it, and every, whether you're on the vault or the bars or the floor, you're on your own, and it's all about you being the best you every time you go do your routine. And I quit gym team when I was about 13 because I wanted to have that social life. And honestly, when you do gymnastics, it is constant, traveling, going and, competing and training like you wouldn't believe. I bet you have an amazing core. Let me tell you. So,
I'm working on it again.
Yeah. So then you get into all of this, you're in a wonderful relationship. You're building yourself up. You're building your own business. And let me just say, owning your own business is not easy, but it gives you flexibility so you could be there for your child, which is amazing. So tell me how you ended up getting into pageantry.
Well, I had a friend. It all starts with a friend, and her name is Jeannie Layne. And
hi, Jeannie.
She
She's watching.
She was a lifelong competitor. She'd been in pageants like since she was born. And she wanted to buy a franchise for the Miss America pageant in South Carolina. And so my son was in about 9th grade when I got involved in this. He's 30 now. And so he had this cute girlfriend, Krista, and she might be watching. And I just knew that she had that it factor. So when we got started, I was like, come on, Krista, let's do some pageants. And and how I became involved was after a little while, I knew, how can I encourage you to do this if I never did this? Like I've done gymnastics. I've been in front of, hundreds of people, not thousands back in the days that, we didn't have thousands of people watching us. There was no TV watching us, but I knew that you can't really tell somebody how to do something if you hadn't done it.
That's a true statement. That is absolutely true.
I entered my first pageant at age, I would think I was 41 or 2. And so I've been in this, I'll be 59 in a few months. So I've been doing this for almost 20 years. So,
wow. Okay.
And I was fortunate enough to win, thank God.
Wait, your first pageant you won?
Oh yeah.
Wow. What was it called? Do you remember?
I think it was called Global America.
Okay. Wow. So you walked right in there and just
owned it.
Everyone you were coaching were probably like, yeah, she trains me. She coaches me. That's amazing, Laura. Oh my goodness. So that gave you really a ton of encouragement to then continue again. But here's a really big question. And this is important. So whoever's listening right now, stay with us, because I want to give Laura the opportunity to talk about stereotypes that are attached to pageants and to the women who do pageants. Have you encountered personally stereotypes about pageants? And if so, how did you handle that?
Things have definitely changed over the last 20 years in pageantry, because if you look now, they're iconic. When you look at these girls, they are so well-rounded. Well, they were just as well-rounded 20 years ago, but the stereotypes were, feminism. And if you're displaying your body like that, then you're waiting on approval from outside forces. But most of the girls that I work with, it's all the confidence that's inside that needs to get outside. So when you have, a challenge, working with the Miss America organization, predominantly, I call it, it's a pageant of paperwork. It's a pageant of essays, interview, scholastic. I mean, it's a scholastic pageant. You win scholarships. So that's the area I like. I like to take all that great stuff, maybe even in the nerdiest girl who no one would think that ever be in a pageant, who has an amazing talent, and turn that person into into the swan. Because it's all in there, and it's in every young woman, and they might want to display it in a different way. But pageantry, people want to be in their high school pageant. People they want to get out there and do it, but they don't have the confidence. So that's the the stereotype in the business world. Just by being like y'all, an attractive female who actually tries to be feminine, I feel that pageants help you conquer that 100-fold.
Right. So what do you say to people? And you touched on it a little bit about, well, if you're wearing that on stage, you clearly just want that type of attention and whatnot. So what do you say to the people who say pageants are just for girls who have a pretty face and they just want attention?
Mainly, I don't coach on stage presence. I coach interview, and I coach paperwork and platform. And every pageant gal out there has something they're passionate about. They have to develop a volunteer platform in order to be relevant and to be able to, actually do what they say they want to do, which is help the world. World peace might sound a little crazy, but guess what? That pageant answer is what all of us want today. If you think about how relative world peace on this exact moment in time, how important that is. And if you have women, it doesn't, I told this to Lynn yesterday. I said, there's people that do all kinds of crazy things. There's people that like to dress up like comic book characters, go to a Renaissance fair, do reenactments. You know what? It might be your personal hobby, but what you can do through pageantry by having a platform and making a difference in your community and trying to have the proverbial world peace,
right?
It's never been more important. And if I can help, I'm sure I've helped hundreds of girls so far, through this process, maybe make a tiny difference, a tiny difference. And one example is one of my girls, Morgan Smoke Naples. She told me the minute she had a big interview and she was nervous. And she said, the minute I walked into that interview and I saw that panel of 7 people, I knew I had the job because I knew no one could interview like I had been taught to interview.
Oh, that gives me chills. And you know what I want to say to this is anyone who I've ever encountered that has a negative connotation toward pageants, I have said, wait a minute, don't judge something by just what you think it is. These girls are highly intelligent. They have a purpose. They're in this to use their skills to either get a scholarship and or help whatever platform they're interested in, whether that's, and we'll talk with you a little bit more, Laura, and all the different things that you're involved with helping. But it's not easy. And, I read something the other day, and I don't know how perfectly true it is, but it said people would rather die than public speak. Number one on their list of the most fearful things is to get up in front of a crowd and publicly speak, let alone being a girl in a pageant up on stage with a microphone by herself, perhaps in an evening gown, having a panel of people ask her random questions that she has to just off the top of her head answer. That in itself is worth being, rewarded and admired. So that's what I have to say about that. Lynn, what do you think about pageants? Have you always just thought, wow, they're beautiful and amazing, smart women? I have.
Oh, yeah, but back then I was probably that article was written about me, I was like, I ain't going up there. I couldn't do that. I was
Yeah.
shy as heck.
Yeah.
I mean, no way I could do that. I just
Yeah.
like, yeah, no way I could do that.
Yeah.
Why do you
So,
think most of the time I have somebody co-hosting a show with me? I don't even do shows by
oh
myself.
my
I mean,
gosh, Lynn, what would I
let's
do
just
without you popping
let's
up
just
being the
be
producer?
let's just be a little honest here. You know, I
Wow.
do shows by myself once in a while, but again, it's how you feel, and and you got to take those steps and get out of your comfort zone. So
You sure have
yeah.
stepped out of your comfort zone. And I commend you, Laura, for coaching women and helping them stand in their power. Hi, Nicole. I saw Theodora come through.
Well, yeah, there's it's not frozen. I think we're good here. Oh, my
Deanna,
brain
my brain
freeze.
freezes too,
Oh, okay.
for sure. But Laura, so how many pageants total, if you can think off the top of your head, have you yourself competed in?
I would probably in the last 5 years, I try to do one a year. Like, don't get out of step now. Like, it's like if you're a marathon runner, do one every year.
Yeah.
But I've probably done, I don't know, 25.
Wow. Total 25?
Probably 25 total. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I would say you're a professional then in coaching other women. You've done it. You know what it takes. And you're right. When you're coaching someone else, if you haven't gone through the stress of actually putting yourself up there on stage, you don't know. I think you in the beauty industry, starting your own business, also being a school teacher, and all the things that you've done leads itself to be absolutely professional enough to coach people without also being in a pageant. But you took it a step farther and did that for the people you coach. So if I were in a pageant, I'd call you up and say, girl, I need your help. I need your
Watch
guidance.
out. I might put you in one. Like, I think.
Well, after you told me you had your son's girlfriend, you're like, ooh, I'm gonna get her all fancy and tell her how to do it. That's awesome. So that's cool. I was just looking at some of the other things. Are there talent portions of the pageants that you yourself have been in?
I don't personally have an onstage talent at this point. I'm a little old, but most of them have like an optional, and that's like it's so fun and it's so amazing because people do all kinds of stuff. I mean, it doesn't have to be. It can be out of the box, which is amazing. I mean,
you know what I keep thinking about, you guys. Remember, I've watched it numerous times and now I can't think of the name. Sandra Bullock was in
Congeniality.
Miss Congeniality. And but really, like, it's a comedy and whatever. But when she first went into it, right, like this fictional character, but I feel like she represents a ton of other people who have stereotypes of what pageants actually are. And she goes in there and realizes these women are smart, they're loving, they have passion. They're in it for more than just themselves. And then she ends up making the best friends of her life with these women. So I don't know. I just
and that's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, how you and Lynn have become friends through a social media platform.
Yes.
And through a training class y'all are in.
Yeah.
When you I have friends, I have a good friend, a dear friend, Donna Delaney, and she's from the Boot Hill in Missouri. And let me tell you, she is blind, legally blind, twirls fire batons and swords, and was on America's Got Talent. Okay.
Oh my God.
And she and I have competed all over the world together, and the United States together. And we pick up, she's like, can you buckle my shoe? Like, she's got the gown on, she can't bend over, she can't see the shoe. The friendships are like nothing you ever saw. I mean,
I love it.
My Spanx, you know?
Yeah, that's so funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you get all done. Hey, that's another thing. It's not easy. It's not easy getting all cute, and having to maneuver yourself around in these gowns or whatever. So, I mean, listen, it's a talent in itself. And my thoughts on this whole pageant and educating people on what it really is, and don't knock it until you've done it, or, you know what these girls are. And I'm so proud of the women that I know who have been in pageants and really put themselves out there. If that only just them doing that has a lot to say about their character. And before we got on here, Laura, you had talked about, sometimes you work with people who want to find their confidence. So when they put themselves out here on that platform and they're allowing people to judge them and answering questions, sometimes that's where they find their confidence. So how amazing that you do that for these people and that they take the initiative to do it for themselves. So awesome. I love it.
And you know what came to mind when you were talking about what the preparation and what you need to do to be in a pageant? Your business and when you're like you do as helping women figure out their wardrobes and their presentation and how they want to market themselves. It all falls hand in hand because it takes a lot of I mean, Lynn, how long did it take me to put together my wardrobe for last summer?
Well,
I tried.
Nicole just popped in. Nicole, 100%. Don't judge a book by its cover.
That's right.
That is for sure. Because these women who are in these and they may have a beautiful face and they work hard on their bodies. And that's another thing. I always say, you know, these people put time and energy and effort into themselves, which is an amazing, that doesn't just happen overnight. It's an investment of time and energy into that. It's just a whole thing that I am so glad you're on here, Laura, that you can educate all of us in knowing what all goes into it. And then also, you know, they don't just pop, like you just said, they don't just pop up on stage one day and say, hey, I'm going to compete. It's a whole year of preparation. Well, you know, and being intelligent and understanding how to articulate an answer once they're asked a question. It doesn't just happen overnight. It's definitely,
and you have to be, and just like Miss Congeniality, you got to be nice.
Yeah.
And so you better go in there genuinely nice because the judges can see everything.
Because they're also seeing behind the scenes, not just what they show. You know, and then you can tell the girls if they, you know, there's somebody who's not very nice, they're not going to gravitate toward that person. That's obvious. That's a red flag right there. So they see it. They see. But another thing, and, you know, I want you to be able to talk as much as you want about pageants, but I do want to bring up the fact that you are so heavily involved in a lot of different organizations, volunteering your time for things that are really lay on your heart that are mean so much to you. So could you talk about some of those things that you do? And also, did the platform of being in a pageant help you spread the word for the organizations that you find, you know, deep in your heart, right? It gives you a platform to help educate people. So tell us about that.
I went ahead and put a little thing up here. So if you want to talk about that, Laura, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to say that I really would say the beginning of my volunteerism really happened when I was in my sorority, Alpha Delta Pi, at Francis Marion University. And we were partnered with the Ronald McDonald House. And we raised lots of money for them. So that's where my passion for volunteerism really started. But as you can see through these photos, you can see Joy. Everybody knows I serve with Joy. If you follow me at all, there's my good friend, Vicky. We have been involved in many projects. My baby is, which I was introduced to through I Serve with Joy. Joy Campbell is the Low Country Blessing Box Project. As a school teacher, I used to worry when holiday breaks would come. I mean, there was actually children that ate every single thing on their tray at lunch. Okay. Like my child is getting some kind of fancy lunch going with him, but children actually, this was their nutrition. And I would worry when the holidays came because I knew they didn't have enough food. There was not going to be enough food. So when I got involved with the Low Country Blessing Box Project, basically it's a local pantry in your neighborhood. They can be anywhere. I personally have 3 that I support that Daniel built. So it's always good to have your family involved in your projects. One is in front of his Union Hall here in Charleston, and then one is in 2 other ones are in different parts of Charleston. So we just fill them with, I mean, I'm the worst. I fill them with good stuff. I fill them with all the stuff that my kid would want. I don't believe that you should go in there and clean out your pantry and put all the stuff that you didn't want.
Right.
And I see it all the time. I'm like, I throw them bags of dried beans. I'm like, these people might be homeless. How are they going to cook this?
Right.
Like, you know, you need.
That's a good point. That's really a good point. Like people they're not thinking that they may not have means to cook it.
I mean, they might not have a can opener. And as you saw, in that montage, I Serve with Joy Joy Campbell is Joy. I serve with. I don't say I always serve with Joy. Sometimes I'm not real joyous. I've done some crazy things with her. I've had some really bad jobs, but poor Daniel too.
Just to clarify, so the people who are watching, Joy is her name who created this, but the name of her organization is I Serve with Joy,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Yes. And it's a 501(c). So anytime you want to, hop on iservewithjoy.org. You're welcome
Nice.
to. And so she and I got together about 10 years ago. And we volunteered with a project called the Cinderella Project with our church, Seacoast, over at the Dream Center, which is here in Charleston. And we outfitted, we were part of the committee. It's a large mass, group of people. And we were able to, each year we would, between 300 and 500 young ladies, we would dress from head to toe in one Saturday in like 5 or 6 hours. And so it was lots of preparation, but I had the blessing of being in the pageant industry, which I had know a lot of people with a lot of gowns. And so we would have amazing donations every year. So that's how Joy and I met.
Laura, I'd like for you to tell everybody, because I always think this is sweet since I've met you, how Joy always calls you her.
Oh, everybody calls me the fairy godmother, because if you ask, like, you could have a rack of 200 dresses and there's not the right one. And for the young lady, and we work with predominantly, when Joy started I Serve with Joy, we work predominantly with homeless teens. People don't understand what a homeless teen is. It doesn't mean that they don't have a grandmama, aunt, a cousin. It means they don't have a permanent address. It means they don't have a bedroom. They don't have a bed. They might stay at auntie's, go to grandmom's, stay in a hotel, stay in a shelter, stay in a car. They don't have a permanent address. One of the things that most of us take totally for granted. So we started working with them with hygiene products. The luxury of a toothbrush and deodorant and body wash and mouthwash are things we take so for granted. And so we've expanded. Joy has, the pandemic has enlarged our reach greatly. She has, just prospered, and we're able to help tens of thousands of people now. So I'm fortunate to be called the fairy godmother. And we have if anybody's watching this, my local people, we are having our chili cook-off not this Saturday, next Saturday. And it's the first one. So we hope it'll be a big success. But, just, if in the volunteerism realm, don't be scared to ask people, y'all. That's one of the biggest things that I've learned over the years is you might be in a project and you don't want to ask your friends. Ask everybody. People want to help people, but they don't know how to get started.
That's the truth. It's interesting that you even said that right now, because I have over the last few years really learned how to step out of my comfort zone. It's always been difficult for me to ask anybody for help. And the reason is I never want to feel like I'm putting anyone out. And what I've learned over the last few years, and with the help of some very close friends of mine, is, Debbie, you can do it on your own with certain like independent stuff, but we want to help. And it's always a matter of, even when there's a hurricane or, you think, what can I do? And you just don't know what to do. So a lot of times you don't do anything. But if you have someone gearing up, something to come and say, I need you to send 24 water bottles, this. People are like, I'm on it. I got it. I got a job. I got a task. So that's huge. And, thank you to you and to Joy and your community giving that guidance and communicating what you need. That is amazing. And the other thing I wanted to say is, could you go back to the Ronald McDonald House too and explain to people, and I do know this, but I want you to explain to people, when you donate to Ronald McDonald House, where does their money go and what does it support?
Before that, I want to acknowledge
Theodora.
Theodora said, you honestly look and feel like a fairy godmother. And she is.
Can I just interject? Theodora, she already said her age. I would never say her age without her already saying that first. She's 58. Okay. So I want to even say right now,
how beautiful she is.
She's gorgeous. And I want to say to all the women out there, not all the single ladies, but all the women out there who think that they hit 50 and they're old, stop it. Knock it off.
I'm 56.
She's 58. She's amazing. And she's not thinking about anytime soon backing off of self-care. And she's not backing off of volunteering and doing new things. In fact,
And listen, in fact, look at this. This is what she looked like, and she sent me a picture. This is
morning.
before she got.
That's this morning after a workout.
Yes.
So I love it, the fact that she even has like a flower on her workout shirt. Can we just take notice of that? Because listen, I mean, if you got to work out, you might as well look cute, people.
That's her scrunchie in her hair.
It's my big old. I'm a scrunchie. I'm a scrunchie fan.
It is.
The bigger the scrunchie, the better.
Okay, so a braid with the scrunchie. Okay, that's even better. Are you kidding me? How cute are you? Okay. So this is like a segue into what you're doing next to let these women know, don't stop because you turn 50 doing things and living your best life and helping people and helping you and giving yourself self-love. So that's what I want to talk about next, what you have upcoming in August. But before that, let you answer the question. Ronald McDonald House.
Oh, yes. Well, who doesn't love McDonald's and who doesn't love Ronald McDonald? And you got to think about this started. I'm going to be 59. So are we? Oh my gosh, that's a lot of years. Is that 40 years, y'all? Oh dear Jesus. So 40 years ago, back in the olden days, we would just raise money. We had our teeter-totter-a-thon. That was our thing for the sorority. But as the years progressed, I'm still involved with the Ronald McDonald House. And if you are in need, if you have a child here in Charleston, we have a Ronald McDonald House. And if you have a child who might be at MUSC, the Medical University of South Carolina is here, they offer. Some people just need a place to go during the day. You can go, sit in. It's beautiful. You can sit in there, relax. It's right across the street from the hospital. Or they have rooms that are available if you need to stay overnight. I mean, so it's not just for the parents, it's for the kids, and they provide meals every night. I mean, there's tons of volunteering and needs there also if you have a Ronald McDonald home in your town. So they just minister to families and children and give them, a little relief from the stress and worry of a hospital visit and the cost of accommodations.
Yeah. So it's amazing to me. And in Ohio, we have a Ronald McDonald House in Columbus. I have visited, not because I had a child, thank God, in the hospital, but I wanted to see what it was all about. And it is beautiful. And when you think about being transplanted from your home and being with your child all the time and not having to worry about just living in the hospital room, the hospital itself, but having a beautiful place you can retreat and have a few moments and have a meal and lay your head down, be able to meet other families who are going through the same things, having someone to minister to you, pray with you, all of these things, just is so near and dear to my heart. So thank you for sharing that. Oh, yes. And Nicole had popped something up there about, this is all about loving people back to life.
Yes.
Gosh, I love that, Nicole.
I love that.
Girl. And then Julie says, hey, sis, I know 60s are the new 30s, you guys. 100%. I mean, when you look at you, Laura, I mean, you got to know. You're one hot tamale. Yeah.
And so's my sister-in-law. That's my late brother's wife. Oh. And that's my brother's widower. And
so listen, we're not the Golden Girls anymore, people. We're not Rose and all of them. God rest their soul. But, it was funny. I saw something that showed Rose and Blanche and all of them. They were like in their 50s in that show. The Golden
I know.
Girls.
They were young, really, y'all. We thought they were old.
Like my grandma. So I was like, no, I'm not ready for that yet. That's not what I want. But anyway, let's talk about, I'm so excited. We have something upcoming with Laura, and it's in August. Tell us about it.
Oh, I'm competing.
You are competing.
I am competing. I'm involved with an amazing organization called America's United States Pageant, which I really love the name. And when I first heard it, I was like, this sounds a little, what is this? It got all America, United States, all of it mixed up together, but it's America's United States.
Okay.
So it's kind of like world peace. It's like what we need right now. We need America to be united.
100%. Yeah.
And it's in North Carolina, Albemarle, North Carolina. It's a cute little town. Of course, I found all the best places to eat. And I competed last year. I was first runner up. Okay. And to be honest, that was like only the first time I never won.
So you're going to go back and try it again.
Girl, Girl, you got
So what
humbleized.
if Lynn and I make a road trip?
Oh, that would be
We're in the
fun.
crowd. Yay! She empowers women, and she's a hot girl at 58. Okay, that's amazing. So
So
once
I've been
again,
competing with all, I'm in the elite group, which is kind of like if you're a runner, the Venus group is like the older ladies. So my group is 50 and up. And let me tell you, y'all, there's people in their 70s, 80s. There's people that still
you know
compete.
what makes me so happy to hear that.
I mean,
Because
there's
we
Miss Senior
don't want to
America. I hope
yeah,
I
we
make
don't want
it
to
there
put
one
one
day.
foot in the grave. Love Ronald McDonald House. They helped me so much when my daughter went through back surgery at the Shriners Hospital in Washington. Julie, thank you for sharing. Yeah, so it's a great place to give money. I mean, it really is. If
It,
wanna
like
give
you
to a
really
worthy
can
cause.
feel like that's your money's going to go to amazing use.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, I serve with joy, 100% that too. And, I would say local. Does she do outside of Charleston too? Or is she?
We do some outreach within the Southeast. We did a big drive for Hurricane Harvey, and Joy actually convoyed it down there.
Yeah.
We've done things in Florida, but we're definitely Southeast.
Okay. Yeah.
She's been blessed to, as she's learned about being a nonprofit, and if anybody's listening that has a 501(c) who is a small nonprofit, now she can help other small nonprofits.
Yeah.
And that's what, if you have a brand new nonprofit, in your area, reach out to some of the ones that have, evolved and have blossomed, and they can maybe coach you along, or actually they might have extra, sometimes you get stuff that is just not for your
actual
you're serving.
501(c), and you can share those things with someone else, and in lieu of what we had talked about at the front of this show is reaching out for help. Don't be afraid to do it. And I mean, we just circled right back around to that, didn't we? You are right, Laura. We need to make sure that we are letting people know what our passion is, what we have going on, ask people for help, get other people's interpretation of what they're doing. Teodora says, Laura, how do we vote for you?
Because we just love your
her.
Yep, I love Teodora, and I love that she goes, I love your attitude. And yeah, she's
Well,
one
I
of my
have to
best
say,
friends.
everybody that'll be in my group, like I think everybody that was in my group except the gal that won, of course, she'll be crowning the new queen. I think everybody that was in our group, we had so much fun. We're coming back to compete against each other again. We don't even care. Like,
yeah, I think that's amazing. Now, when you get, like, for instance, when you win a pageant, are you, now you don't need a scholarship. So as you go into the older groups, or are you winning a scholarship for someone else, or what is the prize?
You win all kinds of stuff. Mostly you win a beautiful crown and a banner and the ability to.
Well, that's enough, girlfriend.
I know, it opens doors.
I'd wear that right to Kroger.
I wear it I'm like, some days you just got to put on your evening gown and vacuum. I mean,
there you go. Oh my God, you're my kind of girl. All right.
Don't wait for a special occasion. Everything's a special occasion.
Oh, that's so true. I love that attitude. I mean, every day is a blessing. Let's try to live it up the best that we can. Try to see the positives in it. So August what? And you're in North Carolina.
I think it's 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Okay. Wow, that's a huge investment of time. You're there 3 days?
Oh, but you'll get there a day early, and you can't leave that night because you'll be too tired. And you gotta celebrate whether you win or lose. You're gonna be going to eat.
That's right. So Julie said there is absolutely nothing, no charge to be in this.
Oh no,
for the McDonald's,
but
Ronald McDonald's. No, Ronald
for
McDonald.
the pageant, there's an entry fee, but it's America's United States is a nonprofit also, so all the money goes back in. And they work mostly with farmers and veterans, which I love. They're giving back to our farmers.
Oh, really. I like to eat. So we need our farmers, people take these things. We in the United States take advantage of the fact that we always just can go to the grocery and get our food. I had the beautiful opportunity to meet a girl last week who's from Cambodia, and she's lived here in the United States for 12 years. And one of the comments she made to me was, I'm raising my son in the United States, but I'm going to make sure he's not spoiled. a spoiled United States kid. And I didn't take offense to that because I think I'm spoiled. I think we all are. And we need to step back a minute and sometimes just appreciate that we can walk to our water, to our sink, get a glass of water.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have a big bowl on our head walking miles and miles to try to find clean water. I mean, literally, I mean, I know I went down a rabbit hole here, but we do need to appreciate every day. And Laura, with your attitude about even aging, and you're proud of your age, and you're just such a really nice breath of fresh air for women, all ages, not just the young kids that you coach, but also women my age and Lynn's age. We're all really the same age anyway. But that's how I feel about it. But I love it. I love it. We have Nicole saying, I grew up on a farm in Ohio. Go and I'll.
And so, no, she was talking about the Ronald McDonald House earlier.
Yes.
And she said, all ladies are beautiful. That's right.
Yes.
Amen. And like, that is the whole key to pageantry. Anybody can have their day.
Yeah.
And this kind of sounds a little crazy, but there's times people have been in pageants and they'll be going, oh, I got that one. I got that one. You know, I think I can win. And like, you know, there is a little bit of that happens.
Sure.
And let me tell you, you might just get a big old whooping because let me tell you, that confidence, you can't bottle that and you can't buy it.
Yeah.
It is.
Andrea just said you don't have to go far. In Canada, sadly, native reserves have yellow, muddy water running from the tap. Oh, Andrea, that's awful. That's awful. Yeah. Well, you know, but what you're saying too, let's go back to that, Laura, about the fact that, you know, human nature. I mean, listen, we're not perfect humans. We are human. So that speaks volumes, right? We all are on a journey to be better versions of ourselves. But sometimes we can like judge or think and then when you say, oh, I've got this, and then all of a sudden you get your butt whooped. And that's a nice growing and learning moment. Mm-hmm. And, for us to grow and be better and then understand that, you know, we're not the only one that have something to offer. These other people bring stuff to the table too. And wow, that's impressive. You know, that's fun. I mean, you know, I don't really ever like to lose, but you're really not. You're not losing, you know?
No,
you're meeting new people, you're learning. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
It is cool. And it reminds you to like, where does your self-esteem come from? Mm-hmm. And you know, it's just so exciting when you see somebody that you would like. The world is full of everybody is grading, judging. They're looking at us right now.
Yeah.
They're thinking,
gosh. Yeah.
Or did they articulate correctly? Did they do this? Yeah. Did they do that? Why is her hair like that? You know, but the bottom line is when you have self-confidence, none of that matters.
No. And I want to say this too. And Theodora, you absolutely should compete.
Yes, she should.
Theodora, I will dress you up, honey. I will wear.
I know Laura will too.
I got 3 closets full.
Yeah. Well, we'll go in. We'll go to Laura's closet and play dress up. But what the other thing, there was a point I wanted to make. Oh yeah. About people judging and whatever. And when you do get a little bit more self-assured and know who you are, it really matters a whole lot less than maybe it used to. And I can attest to this. Even if I felt like someone didn't like me, and I really would never be mean to anybody, I would think, why does she not, I don't understand why she's being mean and why. And now at my age, and also me going through this journey of self-love and all that, I really don't care. I mean, I care about the person, and I think it's more about them than it is about me, and they need to heal so that they can love other people. And I'm kind of over that. Like, okay, that's fine if you don't like me, because I'm moving on. I have other people who do love me, and that's who I want to surround myself with. Mm-hmm. So it's crazy though, how one day I feel like I have it figured out. And then the next day I'm like, ugh, that feels icky. And I need, and then I got to chop, Debbie, get back into the zone, know who you are, and be confident. You know what I mean? It's almost like there are times where your confidence ebbs and flows, I think. Yeah. For me, it does.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah. And one day you're on top of the world. The next day you're thinking, I can't walk around a block.
Yeah.
You know? I was like, I don't have that attitude.
What's going on?
Yeah. Like, and you have to, once you figure that out, then you find friends like you you two
Yeah.
beautiful ladies
Yeah.
that like reaffirm your,
Yes.
reaffirm, reaffirm. And that's what, as women, that's what we need to be doing for each other.
100%. And Nicole said, how are you confident without being cocky? That is a great question. And I've talked to my kids about this. I bet all of us have talked to our children about this. Confidence has nothing to do with being cocky, because people, I believe, who are cocky, they still feel like they have something to prove, and they still have a lot of internal healing to do. Because anytime you try to make someone feel beneath you, there's an issue there, and it's with them. So I feel that people who are truly confident and really love themselves just love other people, and they don't act like they, they are who they are. And confidence is beautiful. It's not cocky, right?
I agree. I feel like most of the time cockiness equates to not confident.
That's right. They have something to prove. So
Yeah.
it's like they need to work on that, because if they're trying to make other people feel a certain kind of way, or no one really likes to be around someone who's cocky anyway. So like, chill out, figure it out, and come back and we'll be friends.
And I see Theodora said that about her 10-year-old daughter. And like, if I could say anything to mothers, and y'all might have some like idea on this too. Mothers, be really proactive. If you know your daughter, like I had crazy curly hair. I had 80s hair when it wasn't cool to have 80s hair in the 70s. Okay. You know what I mean?
You're a trendsetter.
It was, but like, mothers, be proactive, that find the beauty. Like it might, if your child has big old,
well, look at Honey Boo Boo.
Yeah,
It's
like if they have big eyebrows, don't wait till a certain age to get them eyebrows taken care of, y'all. Just like I used to tell my first graders, it's never too early to wear deodorant.
Yeah. Well, with hygiene, 100%. Like they need to be, they need to understand and be schooled on that for sure.
Yes, just be proactive with your young people. And I know Theodora doesn't have that problem, but a lot of mothers think, oh, it doesn't matter. They're, children aren't, but children are rough. And,
and the other part of this is I wanted to say to Theodora and to any of our listeners here, and I had written this in my book too, you cannot tell someone to be confident any more than you can tell a depressed person to be happy. You can encourage confidence by all the things that you just mentioned, Laura. You can encourage confidence by being a good leader. I think that our daughters really, and I read the book when I was growing up, I was going to grow up when I had my kids, but I read the book called Children Are What They Live. And that really resonated with me. And I thought, I'm not going to be able to get any kid, including my own, to be confident if I'm not. I'm not going to get any kid to have integrity by telling them to have it if I don't have it. So when I read that book years ago, I was like, wow, that's true. I need to make sure I get my stuff together, because they're watching me. My kids are watching me, and they emulate who we are. So yes, Theodora, she's going to watch you and see how you handle situations, and when you're put into a bind and how you come out of that. And, Theodora had a story about something that she, failed at. Her daughter, Theodora was vulnerable. I failed, but I'm going to try again. It's amazing. Like, we have to just show through our own actions, not tell people to be confident. And Laura, with you being a coach, you get that opportunity all the time with these girls to show them what what confidence is through you, and also encourage them to follow in your footsteps. That's a beautiful marriage.
Oh yeah. And another part of that is letting that, and going to the young people and Theodora and our moms that are it's prom season. Don't let them pick what they like, as long as it's appropriate.
Yeah.
Because I could pick out, there could be a girl that has a gown that I go, that's my second choice. But if she feels like $1 million in that gown,
yes,
that's all that matters. So we have to learn how to step back. And this is what you coach people on also, Debbie. So, you've got to let people, maybe it's not what you would think you would want your child to wear, some black dress or red dress or yellow. True. But if they feel like $1 million in it, let them wear it.
Yeah, because they're going to shine from within because
Exactly.
they feel good in it. So let's just do this. To wrap up, I want you to give us, if you were to give us as adult women, but also teenage girls, advice of something you've learned along the way that you want to send that message out to resonate with all of us, what would that be?
Don't ever believe you will not win.
Okay.
Always in your mind, the thought of losing, it's never, ever, ever crosses your mind.
Right.
Like I never thought I wouldn't win. I don't like.
So say that one more. Say that. Wait a minute, because I'm hearing you say, just always believe you are going to win.
You're going to win. You're going to
So
win.
say your tagline again.
So like always believe, always never ever think that you won't win. Like
I love it.
every time I get on that stage, I don't think about anything. I think I'm going to win.
Okay.
I think that I go there with the attitude of winning because no matter what, I'm going to take something away from that situation. I'm going to take friendship. I'm always going to win.
And so with that, Laura, I believe you and you are a winner. Lynn, our show's a winner, baby.
Oh, shoot. This is what happens when you let one bestie meet the other new bestie, and you don't even get to put 2 words in. And I think it's
Lynn's like,
fantastic.
geez, I could have had lunch and taken a nap during this.
Yeah, I
But
could have just
we
been in the
couldn't be on
background.
here without you. What are you talking about?
That's the darn truth. I'll tell you, it would have been a disaster.
No. I think this is fantastic. This is what I'm saying. I love connecting new people together. And I just love the fact that I know we're going to end up having a show where we all get to talk, but this is the first time they're getting to talk. And I think it's fantastic. I think I surround myself by beautiful women inside and out. And these are the most 2 beautiful women that I get to speak to every day, that I love dearly, and that I'm excited because the world needs, my TV network's going to have, you're going to have your show, you're going to have your show. Everybody could have a damn show, and I'm going to help them with it. But the bottom line is that the fact that there's passion in what you're doing, and I hope when you guys watch this, the passion that Debbie's going to have a podcast before too long. She loves to just interview. She needs her own show. Debbie, I'm very grateful you're here. And Laura, she's just amazing. And she's going to have her podcast here soon. And I'll probably help produce that with her. But what I'm trying to say is when you find people that you love working with, like you 2 ladies, and have friendship first, it's just fantastic to see what we can do when we there's no competition here. There's no who's this and that. It's what we want to give to the world. And so you can be sure that we're going to have shows that we want to uplift and bring people on to just help in whichever way we can. And I'm just super excited to see how this transpired and how, we can all coach each other and everything. Debbie can coach me on fashion. Laura can teach me on fashion and confidence. She's always building me up on that. I can teach them how we should run a show. So, I mean,
you do a bang up job because putting everything in and figuring that out, that's not my thing.
Well, all I'm trying to say here is that when you realize that you put egos aside and you put yourself down to what can we do? I've been sitting here going, okay, this is how we should do the show and all this. I don't like my shows to be boring. That's why we put props and we do all these things. And to work with you guys and for us to collaborate, this is just the beginning of many. And I know this is just the beginning. And I'm just super excited for everyone that's participated in this, everyone that's been here to be a part of this, because you guys, these 2 women, you're going to know who they are. And I'm going to have something to do with that because they're just freaking amazing women. So thank you for staying with us this long. Any final words you want to say, Debbie, before I go? And
I just am so happy to be here and meet Laura. And the word of the day is, or the phrase of the day is, we're all winners. Believe it.
Yes, absolutely. All together. It's a team. And, Rex always talks about, if we would talk more about peace, and what Laura's, she gives and volunteers, and she's all about the peace and the love and the happiness. We keep talking about all the bullshit and all the unhappy stuff that doesn't lift anybody up, because whatever you think about expands. So if we keep expanding the peace more in the world, it expands. It doesn't contract back. So this show talking about peace and our show is fabulous and beautiful around the world. and around people. And I'm telling you, when Laura can come here and show me what she looked like before working out and here and there, her beauty's everywhere and everything she touches. So again, I'm just so super grateful. And I just, she meant confidence earlier. So thank you, my sweet sister-in-law, for being here. I love everybody. And I actually did a little intro because I got around to it. So we're going to say goodbye, right, girls?
Bye.
Bye.
Miss you already.
Yeah, I know, right? It's going to be like, we're going to have like episodes upon episodes, you guys. So love you guys.
Love you
thank
too.
you for watching this. I know it's a long show, but we appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Say bye.